Alright, guys, here we are. We are finally hitting up the East Carolina Pirates Year 1 off-season. We're going to start off. We're just going to hit the highlights of our season. We're going to go just game by game, hit up what happened, and then we're going to go into our year-end stats, and then we're going to advance and get through the rest of this off-season. So we might be here for a little while, so sit in, relax, get ready to watch some of the off-season, some of the decisions that we have got to make here. So we started off the season with Hawaii at home, which we do have an away game at Hawaii next year. So home and home. And we came out guns a-blazing. I thought, this season, is it really going to be the season that we, no one expected from us, but we talked about having in our locker room? We started off 52-17 at Hawaii. Pretty crazy. Then we had Colorado at home. Colorado finished 4-7. They didn't even make a bowl, but they kicked the crap out of us that game. Laviska Shenault had a day. Katie Nixon had a day. So they all pretty much dominated us. Then we play at SMU, who actually led the American, I think, West, and they made it to the American Conference Championship. So they actually ended up being a pretty decent team. But we went into their house on the first game of a 3-game road stretch and beat them 30-27. Then followed that up, rivalry game, plane crash game, took care of business at Marshall, 3-9, hostile crowd, and we ended up winning that one 32-26. So we're starting off the season 3-1. We're looking good. Then the last game of our 3-game road trip, went to Houston and got demolished. They took us to the woodshed, beat us 45-22, and it really wasn't that close. They probably could have scored more if they wanted to. And then we head into our bye week. We made some changes to our team during that bye week. We had a change at tight end, where we started Zach Bird over Anthony Watley. And, I think you can see going into some of those other games, Zach definitely was a better athlete there. Watley wasn't bad, but he's definitely the better athlete. So we made that change. We also changed on defense. Jaquan McMillan, no longer the starter, popped in Colby Gore, the senior. So we had 2 senior bookends at the corners. Those are our main changes we made there on defense and offense. That was during the bye week, and we came out. Home game, Navy, started with 3-game homestand. Played Navy, kicked the crap out of Navy. Triple option. We had too many athletes on the field able to stop that. And Navy, another American Conference road, didn't make a bowl game either. And we beat them 48-14. Dominant victory. Then Memphis, home game, lose a tight one, 26-24. I remember their quarterback made some really gutsy runs towards the end there and got them into field goal range to drain the game winner. But overall, it was a tough game, tough loss at home. Then we take on Temple, who ended the season 9-4, and we ended up in a defensive battle. I think it was 3-0 at halftime, if not scoreless at halftime. We can check it out, actually. No, I wanted to check out the more info on it. Here we go. So it was 0-0 first. We took the lead 3-0 at the end of the second. We each scored touchdown in the third. So we're up 10-7. We had an insurance field goal, and that was it. Lot of defense there, but it was a good kind of game. It was a different kind of game for us, but we ended up winning that one. So we got to go, I'm sure, at Temple next year. So that one, they're going to remember that one. So right now, at this part of the season, we're 5-3, looking good. We need one more win to become bowl eligible. We play at number 11 Cincinnati. They ended the season 12-2. dominant. They won the American. They beat SMU in the American Conference Championship game. We got our butts kicked that game. It was a lot closer than, or a lot further apart than the score suggests. We're losing 24 to 10 there. They're definitely a tough team. Their running backs pretty much had their way with us, just running over all of us. It was a gut check game. So 5-4, we're not guaranteed anything yet. So USF senior night, we come out and we have a hell of a game. Hell of a game. It's 35-28. Game summary. Started off 7-7. We're matching each other. 7-7, 14-7. So we end up taking a 7-point lead going into halftime. Third quarter, defenses show up. Fourth quarter, defenses go away. We each score 14 points. ECU ends up scoring the winning touchdown to make it 35-28, which I'm trying to remember what that winning touchdown was. Oh, yeah. Josiah Hatfield. That was the kick return by the freshman on senior night. Ended up being the game winner. So that got us to be bowl eligible. Only bowl eligible, though. So we're 6-5 at that time. No, 5-4. 6-4 at that time. So then we have another away game at UCF. Get our clocks cleaned again. We just struggled. Our offense struggled. Holton struggled on the road. He just couldn't get comfortable sometimes. And we lost that game 31-10. So we're 6-5 at that point. Then we have at Connecticut, last game of the year, on the road, cold. It was a cold game. We end up shutting them out 28-0. First shutout of the Coach Falk era, but our defense had some momentum going there. So we had a bye. We're 7-5, bowl eligible. Chances are we're making it into a bowl. We're sitting there at the bye, and we have obviously didn't make the conference championship, so we got another bye. And then we end up playing Louisville in probably one of the most controversial bowl games of this year, where we end up taking the lead. We had the lead. We were up 24-21. Colby Gore picks off Jawan Pass, catches the ball at the 2-yard line. His momentum carries him into the end zone. They say it's a safety, gives them the ball with the 2 points. It's 24-23. They get the ball, they drive down, they end up getting a field goal, 26-24. We get the ball back with about 2 minutes left. Holton's driving us down. Then he makes a questionable play call or a questionable decision, throws the wheel route that wasn't open, gets picked off by Sturgill. Game over. So it was a tough loss to what ended up being number 25 Louisville. So we had them on the ropes. We had them right where we wanted, and we couldn't finish. So that's basically how this season ended. That was a little highlight there. We're just going to go through some of the stats, hit up what some of the guys did this year. Quarterback-wise, it was pretty much Holton show. Brian Gagg probably played maybe, total of a half a game at the most due to some mop-up duty. But Holton, our main guy here, is a sophomore. Rating of 123.8. He ended up 262 for 444 attempts, 3,145 yards. Passing touchdowns 21, but 23 picks. We really got to get those in. We can cut those picks in half next year. We're looking at a totally different team. Yards per game, about 241. 59% completion percentage. His longest pass was 66 yards. I think that might have been a dime to Josiah Hatfield on a scoring play. Got sacked 35 times too. So we need to try to cut back on some of that. Rushing wise, it was a mixed bag. We had a whole bunch of different guys that carried the ball for us. We just mixed it up, moved it around. I don't see why we wouldn't do that, especially in this. Keep fresh guys out there. It was led definitely by our senior, though. He had 110 attempts. Hussein Howe, 471 yards, 6 touchdowns. Yards after contact, 128. So, a quarter of his yards came after contact, which is nice. Fumbles, Holton had 3 fumbles. But everyone else, no fumbles, so that's good. That's good. Demetrius Monty, the true freshman, he contributed 287 yards, about a 4.3 clip. Trace Christian, he is going to be getting some looks he's seeing this year because he was very, very good in a limited role. And he averaged 7.3 yards per carry. That's almost as much. That's more than our jet sweep man, DeAndre Ferrier here. Darius Penix, he was limited due to injury. He only played 4 games. Then he got injured. And we're going to fight for that medical red shirt. We'll see if the editor will let us do that. Since he only played 4 games, we can do that. Holton Ahlers, he contributed 98 yards on 78 attempts, but you take 35 sacks against that. He's probably looking more about 200 yards rushing. So then he had 2 touchdowns. Then Blake Prohl, he attempted, but he wasn't really the main guy. DeAndre is the guy we tried to get in space. So overall, a mixed bag on the rushing since our offense doesn't really gear towards that. But we'll see. I mean, we may have a different offensive coordinator this coming year. I don't think we will. Defensively, we might. We didn't rank too high, and our defensive coordinator is on the hot seat, but we'll see what administration decides to do. As far as receiving, now, this, once again, Holton spread it around. He didn't really, didn't focus on one main guy. DeAndre Ferrier led the team in receptions, but Blake led the team in yards. They were very close in total receptions in that, averaging 14 yards a catch for Blake and 12 yards a catch for DeAndre. Audie, the senior grad transfer from UCLA, he also was 3rd in the team in receptions at about 10 yards a clip. He had 1 touchdown. Blake definitely led the team in touchdowns. He's coming back. He'll be a junior this upcoming year. So we have a lot of guys coming back that were pass catchers. We also lost, 2 of our top guys, but we have guys that are ready to come back. Zach Bird, he'll be there. He'll be a true junior. He had 5 touchdowns last year, so we're going to definitely try to incorporate him more into the offense this year, especially at 6'7". I mean, he is a matchup nightmare over the middle. Hopefully he progresses. We'll see, because I'm going to do a manual regression calculation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the actual progression take place, and then I have the original values stored in my computer for all the guys, and I'm going to use I think Hellison's regression system, and we're going to do a random number generator, see what their actual work ethic rating is, and then see what they should be. So some of them may go down, some of them may go up, because right now in the game everyone pretty much goes up from 3 to 6 points every year. So there's never really any parity, there's never really any battles, because everyone just keeps going up. So if you were a starter as a freshman, you'll probably be a starter all the way through a senior, which in real life that just doesn't happen. So going on with the rest of the receiving, Tyler Snead, he played a lot in the beginning of the year, then really kind of died off. His height really hurts him, and the fact DeAndre Ferrier is our slot man, I expect a lot more from Tyler Snead this year, because he'll be able to work more in the slot versus where DeAndre basically owned that slot position after I think he had a 1-game suspension earlier in the year. But our starters, are going to be looking pretty decent next year. Now, Midrion, he's going into his senior year, so he's obviously going to be a bigger role for us. And Josiah Hatfield, he's also going to be a bigger role. Him and Tyler Snead are going to be battling for that slot position, I think. We also have Jonathan Johnson, who will be a senior too. Now, right now, he played a limited role, but we'll see what he does in the offseason, because he was quite the player too. He made a lot of big catches for us, especially for not seeing a lot of playing time on the field. And then we had some of our running backs contribute, and some tight ends here. So basically what we're looking at next year, right now, without any freshmen coming in, anything, we got Blake Prohl probably going to be starting at the X. We got Henley starting at the Z. Bird starting at tight end. And then Tyler Snead and Josiah Hatfield fighting it off for that slot role. But we also have Midrion Vines, who can play, and Jonathan Johnson, who's going to play. So we have a lot of guys returning. So I'm not too worried about our receiving, our pass catching threats. I think we're going to do just fine there, and especially another year under Holton's belt. I think we'll have a much better, affluent offense. Now, blocking, we have Deontay Smith. He's coming back. He did let go 7 sacks, but I think he'll get a little better. Matt Morgan, I believe, he'll be back. He was suspended for the rest of the year, but he'll be back. Brandon Paynian, he graduated. Zach Bird let go a sack. Sean Bailey, he'll be back. Doyle will be back. And Donovan Noel will be back. So all the guys that lit up sacks will pretty much be back. We did have to, Bailey Malovich is off the team, so we won't see him next year. But we have a lot of guys coming back on the offensive line, so hopefully they can get some fluidity there and work together all off-season in the weight room and do some positive progression there. Now, defensively, we had a lot of different types of players on our team. So Xavier Smith, middle linebacker, led the team in tackles with 78. So, had a hell of a year. Tackles for loss, 17, 3 sacks. He had a quiet, leading of the team in tackles. He just kind of was the guy that just cleaned up everything. He was there. And he's going to do his junior year next year. So, that's a positive. Now, free safety Devondre Robinson. His job is not safe. He had a lot of questionable angles that he took on plays. A lot of passes I thought he should have been a little better at defending. So we're going to see, what we have. But there's definitely going to be a competition at free safety coming up this year, because that is just not going to cut it. We need a leader back there. We need a guy that can calm everyone down on defense and make sure everyone's in the right spot, and then make up for those people that aren't. Daniel Charles, he had a pretty good year. He had a pretty decent year. I know he had some concussion issues towards the end of the season, but he overall was rather good. Colby Gore, he'll be gone. Aaron Ramser, this is a guy I'm looking to have a nice senior season, hopefully. He's going to be a redshirt senior next year. He finished the team 5th in tackles. 10 tackles for loss, though. He had a sack. Didn't do much else on the defense. But he was there. Mike Witherspoon, he's going to be gone next year. So, like I said, we got to replace Colby Gore and Mike Witherspoon next year at corners. But we have some guys that have been waiting there. Now, this guy is the guy I'm having as my breakout senior possible award winner next year. Warren Saba showed so many great clips of being the player that we needed him. He made, every time we needed a big play, he came out and made that play. So his senior season, I think he's going to be rather dominant. He finished with 40 tackles. He also had 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 1 interception, an interception return for a touchdown. Like I said, he was all over the field. And he always seemed to be that athlete that could keep up with the guys that were giving us the most problems. So he made a lot of plays. So I think he's going to have a huge year. Once again, another senior we're going to have next year is Bruce Bivens at linebacker. So we're going to have Xavier Smith as a junior. So all of our linebackers coming back. All of our starters coming back. So I think defensively we're going to have a pretty nice core going forward on the front 7. Now the back end, like I said, there's going to be a lot of change there. So Nolan Johnson, though, and Daniel Charles will be back at strong safety. Chandon Hickerson will be anchoring the line. We're losing a lot of guys on the line. And Jaquan McMillan obviously is going to go back to a starter for us for the most, unless someone else comes up crazy in the offseason. And Alex Turner, we lost him. Kendall Futrell, we lost him. Chance Purvis will also be coming back for his senior season. He was injured for the rest of the year. He broke his tailbone after he was having a great first half of the season, too. And he ended up getting injured there. Alex Angus, he got thrust into a role when Warren Saba was injured. And, he made the most of it. He wasn't horrible, and he's only a true freshman, so he got some experience last year, which is going to help coming into this offseason. So hopefully he can do something. And then we're getting down to guys that really didn't play too much. Now, Demel Hickman, he played not so much defense, but kick returner. He actually was a second-team all-conference kick returner, which is great. He dominated on the punt returns. He's just a very shifty guy, so we look to have him come back. We have him for 3 more years as a returner, so I don't see him getting shifted off of that as his job. Jalen Price, he's going to be leaving. Miles Berry, he is going to be fighting for a backup spot, mainly a special teamer right now, but you never know what can happen. Right now, our linebackers look pretty solid, but we'll see what happens in the offseason. There's some guys that are just going to work harder than others, and we'll see. So Trey Love, he'll be coming back. Jaron Rainey, this is one of the guys that are going to be fighting him. Jere Wilson are going to be fighting Devondre for that lead spot, and we'll see what he can do, because you just never know. And the rest of this is that. So tackle-wise, and a little backup for that, we'll also take a look at who led the team. Tackles for loss, Xavier Smith. Alex Turner, we're losing, like I said. But we had some guys that are going to be returning that led that. Now, sacks, we had 3 guys tied for the lead. Chance Purvis with 7. Kendall Futrell, who replaced him, with 7. And Alex Turner with 7. Then we had Warren Saba, who led from the linebacker core with 5 sacks. INTs, Mike Witherspoon led the team with 2, and then we had a bunch of guys with 1. We need to try to force more turnovers next year, though. That's what we're hoping for. And passes deflected, Mike Witherspoon led that. Like I said, he's going to be a tough one to replace. He was pretty much our anchor on our defensive backs, and we're going to lose him. Forced fumble, only a couple forced fumbles. We did have 1 safety, though, so Xavier Smith, probably our main guy on defense. Even though it's a tie between him and I think Warren Saba for our best defensive guy, and Alex Turner. I would say those 3 guys are probably the 3 guys that I would look to as a defensive MVP. So one of those 3 guys. Offensively, MVP, I mean, it's tough to choose. It's probably not going to be a running back. Holton, definitely not. I think it would have to be a wide receiver. And if I'm looking at wide receivers, it's probably going to be Blake Prohl. I mean, he led the team in receiving yards. He led the team in touchdowns. And he always seemed to have, huge catches when we needed them. So probably be him. Our kicker did not end up too well, 62%. He was a first-team all-conference player, too. So I don't know if that's going to continue. He did hit a 51-yarder as his long, and he's perfect from extra point range. But it was just tough. So he was 6 of 7 from 17 to 29 yards, 4 of 7 from 30 to 39, 3 of 6 from 40 to 49, and 2 of 4 from 50 plus. And he had 25 touchbacks, so we'll see. Punting, John Young averaged about 38 yards a punt. Let's see how many inside the 20. 29 inside the 20, so that wasn't too bad. Long of 47. Kick returner, Demel Hickman, but Josiah Hatfield was our probably best kick returner. 2 touchdowns he had as a true freshman. So we get him back. We had Tyler Snead. See, this is the thing. We had Tyler Snead playing a big role on the offense, and he was also a kick returner and punt returner. But once I put Josiah Hatfield and replaced him there, look at that. 6 more yards of return, plus 2 touchdowns. So Josiah just made a huge difference there. And then we had Steady Eddie, Demel Hickman back there, who just always did his thing. Punt return, he had Demel Hickman 16 yards. So he was averaging 6 more yards return than Tyler as a punt returner. Same way that Josiah averaged 6 more yards as a kick return. So we made a good decision, I think, halfway through the year and changed that up. So those are our stats for that. Now we're ready to get going. We're going to advance, and we're going to see what's going on with this next season. Advanced week. We're advancing to the end of the season. Let's go. Let's see. Okay, so we're in a recruiting battle with 3 guys here. Brandon Butler, Steve Falk IV, and Anthony Prince. So my son is battling with us. I think that's with Arizona State. I can't remember who these other teams are with. But let's see what we can do here. And we got some records here. Longest kick return, 97-yard. That's a record. Earn a bowl bid. We got some points. Possibly an upgrade looming for Coach Falk. If not, possibly next year. I'm hoping that we can get what we got going here. Getting my Dynasty guide here on Excel. I want to take a look at recruiting tracker. Okay, so we're fighting for 6 guys, plus another guy was locked out, Victor Young, but he possibly can come back. So take a look at our target wins per year. We're 7, like I said earlier in another episode, and we ended up meeting that goal. So right now, prestige B-, my security, job security is safe. So we're staying in East Carolina. They can't get us out of there. All right, so coaching carousel, we can take a look at that and see if there's any offers for us, see if there's any big names going down here. David Shaw, contract expired, but I'm pretty sure he's going to take that. Yeah, he got a contract extension for Stanford. He's finished the year 8-5. Clay Helton was fired, so who is USC going after? I'm probably not going to look at all of these, but we'll look at a couple of them. So now Utah State is now searching for head coaching contracts as he just got the Utah job, or the USC job. It's a Gary Anderson. Let's go to California. The head coach. Who are they contacting? I don't think we're going to get any names called here. Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian gets the job at Cal. Interesting. So we got some movement. We got a lot of movement. Let's see if there's any American things that happen. Wow, Alabama's defensive coordinator got taken too. This is what happens though. You win the national championship, you lose your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. But I don't think it's going to be a problem for Alabama to retool. So he stayed within the SEC too, so he's got a place saving again. Ooh, Cincinnati head coach took the job at Arkansas. So Luke Fickell leaves Cincinnati for Arkansas. Interesting. So now we don't have to worry about that because Chad Morris was fired. So now the Cincinnati head coach is who's taking over in our American Conference. The Arkansas State head coach Blake Anderson. A lot of movement here. A lot of movement. Interesting. Pitt job is up for grabs. Pat Narduzzi got fired. Matt Campbell? Wow, interesting. He left Iowa State to go to Pitt. Interesting. That's very interesting. So now Iowa State needs a head coach. Who are they going after? I don't think we're getting any. Ooh, Billy Napier from UL Lafayette. They had a pretty good year. They're going to take the Iowa State job. Boston College, Steve Adazio was fired. Wow, and they hired Bud Foster from Virginia Tech. So he went from defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech to Boston College. See if he can rebuild that team. PJ Fleck was fired after failing to meet his goals. Wow. That's a nice coach there, PJ Fleck. Love to get him on our staff. Kentucky head coach Mark Stoops is fired. 3-9 season. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. All right. Let's go. Illinois head coach Lovie Smith fired. That's a tough job there, though. It's like they're gonna fire him, but it's tough in Illinois. Kent State guy got a job there. Okay. See, Indiana. Ooh, we got SMU coming up. Wonder what happened there. There's no way he got fired. They just made the conference championship. Okay, Indiana. Sonny Dykes' contract expire, but they're probably gonna re-up him. Yeah, that's what I expected. Arkansas State head coach. Might skip ahead here. Oregon, Marcus Arroyo. Let's see what I can do here. Skip to... Sim to my next offer. If I even have an offer, which I doubt I'm going to. Doesn't look good. Wow. They want me to come and be the defensive coordinator at Alabama and take a step back. I don't think so. Defensive coordinator job at Alabama. You think I want to go and go from being a head coach to being under Saban? Yeah, I'd like to learn from him, but I'm staying with my current contract. I ain't leaving. Yes, I'm staying. Staying. Sorry. You can get the Louisville guy. Get the guy that beat us in the bowl game. That's fine. We're not. If we can't beat him, we don't join him. Okay, we just try and try again to beat him. Skip to my next offer. Take a look. We're not going to look at all the changes, but we'll look at some of the changes that we want to see, especially in the American, see what changed there. Hopefully we didn't lose any offensive or defensive coordinators. There's just always a lot that seems to go down here. Alright, so we can get out of here. Then we can go advance to the next stage, which would give us our coach changes. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look to see what's happening there. See what happened in the American. I'm hoping our guys stayed, but we'll see. We might have a new coach, which means a new system. Only for offense, though, because defensively, I'm a defensive-minded coach, and I run the 3-3-5. All right, let's take a look at these coach changes now. Okay, so let's go to the American. All right, so Cincinnati, new coach, Blake Anderson. So we're going to have a guy to deal with there. Luke Fickell left. He's out of our conference. New coach. So that new coach brought in brand new defensive coordinator and offensive coordinators. They let their contract expire. Interesting. He just wanted new stuff, even though they knew some of that. So Connecticut coach Frank Solich, he could not save his job there. Defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator Randy Edsall couldn't save his job there. Frank Solich came in and took the job. And they lost both their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. East Carolina. Looks like they didn't want to save any of those. So we got brand new offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. Brad Chase, gone. Andy Vitale, gone. can't believe they didn't re-sign him. Interesting. So we got brand new coordinators here that we got to take and see what's going on here. Brian Van Gorder. I don't know what his issue is. If you contract, how long are we going to have him? So I wonder what kind of offense they're going to run now. He's a defensive coordinator. He's a 3-year contract, huh? Interesting. See what we can do. Maybe we can increase the defense a little bit. Let's see. I don't know what kind of coach he is either. Hopefully he can work with Holton. Maybe get him a little better. Those guys got extended. There's a new coach in Memphis. Defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. Extensions at Navy. Head coach Sonny Dykes got extended. New offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. That's interesting. They didn't re-sign them guys. Jeff Knowles is the old coach at Temple, defensive coordinator. I think he ended up taking a job here. Yeah. He ended up going from Temple to Cincinnati. Interesting. So just a switch up in the American there. And Tulane, defensive coordinator contract expired, and they brought in Derek Odom. Offensive coordinator also left. Tulsa got fired. Defensive coordinator got fired. Head coach got fired. An offensive coordinator was extended, though. Randy Shannon was extended at UCF as defensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator was extended. The defensive coordinator at USF was replaced. He was fired. And that was it. That's really all going on at the American. Let's see if any of my coordinators got jobs. Okay, so we're looking for an A. Vitale. Oh, he took the offensive coordinator job at Toledo. Interesting. We'll have to add that in there. Interesting. Hate to see him go. Hate to see him go. We will. Got the old Toledo. And then we'll see if Brad Chase went anywhere. He did. He took the defensive coordinator job at Utah State. Interesting. So they both just moved on. They weren't fired, like I said, but they weren't extended. We'll see what happens there. We will see what happens there. So we'll have to follow them and see what they do in their careers. So those are the big things that happened this year. Now we got to go into players leaving. And before we hit that up, I'm going to get another cup of coffee. So I'll be right back. All right. So this is the spot where we know the seniors are leaving. So now we have to see if we have any transfers leaving or any people going to the draft, which I don't think we will, but that's why we check it out. Wow. So because Brad Chase left, he is now transferring to Western Michigan. I don't really want to lose him because, one, I didn't really recruit any strong safeties because I didn't expect us to have to. We also know the seniors that are leaving. All due to graduation. We get it. Let's see if we can talk him back into staying, I guess, because I don't really want to lose him. He's only a 62 overall, but persuasion chance is low. Hassan Gibson. I'm going to tell you, you'll have more than 40 tackles. I can guarantee he'll play in more than 9 games. He needs to evaluate the pros and cons. Okay. So I told him he'd play in more than 9 games. I can't guarantee he'll have the other. I can guarantee he'll have more than 40 tackles. You're right, coach. I'm going to make it so you can't keep me off the field. He's staying. Let's go. 40 tackles. He can do that. And he'll play in more than 9 games. We got him. We run a lot of sub packages. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you for staying. Give me... So you're going to like the new guy I brought in here. I'm telling you. You're going to like him. Okay. So other than that, we're just losing the guys that we already know we were losing from graduation. So that's good. So nothing much else going on there. So that's huge. We got Hassan to stay. And now we can advance to the next stage. Let's go to transfer requests. No. Maybe some people want to actually come and play under me. Obviously, I lost both my coordinators. But I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. I could have left too to be the defensive coordinator at Alabama. But did I do that? No, because I have faith in this team. Let's see if any of our guys got drafted. None. Not one East Carolina player. But I'm telling you, we have some guys that are good practice squad guys that I wouldn't be surprised if they made it in the NFL. Let's see some of these other teams. We'll go through some of the American teams. Obviously, we'll check out some of the big teams. So Raekwon Davis is a first rounder. Anthony Jennings was also a first rounder. And Trayvon Diggs was a third rounder from Alabama. See some of these other teams that are notoriously good. I also don't want to miss any American teams. We'll check out the American as we pass them. Okay, Cincinnati. Let's see if they have any. Ooh, they're tight end. 6th rounder. So that was cool. Let's see what Clemson had. Okay, so John Simpson, left guard, 2nd rounder. Jermaine Akram, right tackle, 2nd rounder. Tanner Muse, 3rd rounder. Sean Pollard. So a lot of their offensive linemen got drafted. 6th rounder. And then Kayvon Wallace, strong safety, 6th rounder. But they're a young team, so a lot of their talented guys won't be going pro till next year. And they must have stayed. Let's see if Connecticut had anyone. None. Let's see. Let's see Florida State, my favorite team. None. None drafted. That's unusual for a Florida State team, but they've been on some rocky times. Let's see Georgia. J.R. Reed, 2nd rounder. Solomon Kinley, 4th rounder. Charlie Warner, 6th rounder. And Rodrigo Blankenship, their kicker, 7th rounder. Good for them. Let's see Hawaii, who we played this year. None. Let's see if Colorado had any guys. We played them too. Laviska Shenault, 1st rounder. Yeah, I saw that coming. He dominated us. And the right end, Mustafa. Okay. Back to Hawaii. Houston, let's see, none. No American guys drafted yet. Let's see if anyone in Idaho. Nope. Okay, got some Big Ten teams. Plenty of those guys. Let's see Louisville. Des Fitzpatrick. We pretty much held him in check though during the bowl game. He ended up a 4th rounder. He had a chance to show what he could do in that bowl game, and Mike Witherspoon shut him down a little bit. See Marshall, none from our rival there. Memphis, ooh, they had a couple. DeMonte Coxey, yeah, he's pretty tough. And then their right end, Bryce Huff. So, let's see if the U put anyone in the NFL. Of course they did. Shaquille Quarterman and Pinckney. Their linebackers are pretty tough. Navon Donaldson and DJ Dallas, their halfback. He went 5th. He left early. Oh, baby. Let's see if Michigan had anyone. Oh, my God, they did. Wow. They have a lot of seniors, though. Ben Bredeson, Lavert Hill, and Shea Patterson, all 1st rounders. Someone must have taken a stab at Shea. John Runyon was a senior. Metellus, senior. Khaleke Hudson, senior. Sean McKeon left early. Nico Collins left early. Michael Onwenu. So Michigan had a day. Let's see who else we got here. Navy, none. Not a lot of love in the American for draftees, but we'll see. Notre Dame, couple. Julian Akwara. Chase Claypool, he's a tough wide receiver. Khalid Kareem. He won a couple awards, or one award. Jalen Elliott. Okay. Let's see Ohio State. Jordan Fuller. Yeah, KJ Hill, of course, he was going to make it. Figured that. Malik Harrison. Jeffrey Okuda and Drew Chrisman. Punter, 7th rounder, okay. See Oklahoma. Tight end left early. Jalen Hurts, 3rd rounder. That's good for him. Just grad transfer here. Let's see what else. Penn State, anyone? No. They're young though. Rice, Rutgers, SMU. Let's see if SMU. Ooh, James Proche. I had a feeling he was going to go too. I think in real life too, he'll make a good pro. He's a hell of a receiver. But we kept him in check enough to win that game. Oh, let's see. Anyone else we want to look at? Temple. Ooh, their left guard. 7th rounder. Work in process at the 2nd level. See if Texas had anyone. Yeah, Colin Johnson, 1st rounder. Zach Shackelford. He won an award also, the Remington, 3rd rounder. Brandon Jones, free safety, another guard. Devin Duvernay. So they had 2 wide receivers drafted. Pretty good for them. Tulane? No one. I don't think we had one guy. Tulsa? No. American is rough right now as far as draftees. Oh, here we go. UCF had some. Nate Evans, linebacker. Cornerback, Neville Clark. Gabriel Davis left early, so we don't have to worry about him next year for his senior season. Brandon Wimbush, 7th rounder, QB. Experimental project, you never know. See anyone else? USF. They had some guys too. Right tackle and a left end. Greg Reeves. Figured Reeves would. He was pretty tough. They had a right tackle. Make it. Late rounders. Vanderbilt. See Virginia Tech, the runners up. They lose their quarterback, 5th rounder. Shard Ashby. Reggie Floyd. So they don't lose too much to the draft next year. That's it. Wisconsin, check them out. They always have a lineman. Quintez Cephas left early. All right, so those are the draft results for this year. Nothing too crazy. Once again, we didn't have anyone drafted. Let's see if we want anyone that wants to come, sit out a year, but come and play. Oh my God, we do. Jake Venables. Look at this one, boys. Middle linebacker. The defensive coordinator's son from Clemson wants to come and play for us. 78 overall middle linebacker. He'll sit out a year. And we also got Jordan Bonner, a wide receiver. He likes the offense we run. Look at that. So we got Jake Venables. We can bring him in from Clemson. 78 overall. He gets the pedigree from Clemson. He probably wants playing time. I'm guessing. What did he do this year? Yeah, 7 tackles. He was a freshman red shirt, so I have to sit out a year, but I think that's a no-brainer. Admit him. And Jordan Bonner. See what he did. He didn't do anything, so he didn't play at all last year. He wants to play. We'll take that. 78 overall and a 74 overall guys want to come. That's the thing, is we'll take them. Now you're gonna have to work your butt off to try to get on the field, but we appreciate that right now. This year, you'll have a chance to learn the system because you'll have to sit out of here transferring, but you can learn the playbook. Now let's see what we got. Recruitment. Guys just graduated. Say goodbye to everyone. We got our 3 battles we were talking about earlier. Let's see what we got. And I got some XP for convincing Hassan to stay. So that was huge. No draftees, though. That'll help us out later on, but we'll see what we can get going here. All right. So we get to go into recruiting. Now, this is where we have our chance to finish up the rest of our recruits. And we have, I think, total 15,000 points. We gotta try to determine how best to use them. Got our new head coach, Brian Van Gorder. George Barnett, offensive coordinator, level 9. So someone got some experience, but we'll see. So let's hit into, I don't know what this team news means. That's it, okay. Let's go into recruiting. This is where we gotta make some decisions. We only have 10,000 remaining. Probably because I'm not high enough level. So we only got 10,000 to spread out. Or unless they already account for the others. I don't know. 0 points allocated, so just 10,000. So we have... We're gonna have to cut a couple guys. So right now, in our recruiting board, so Victor Young, we still have a chance with, so that's good. He was locked out, but no longer. So we'll see if we can get him. I'd really like to get him. Like I said, we got some recruits here. We can only sign 14, but we also have to cut 2 guys. So technically we should get up to 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that goes 14, but really we also need 2 more guys to come on, but we're gonna have some walk-ons because we don't have a fullback, and they're gonna assign fullbacks for us as walk-ons. So maybe we'll just leave it as is, and we'll see if we can get these guys. So right now, our main targets, we gotta get Victor Young. We have to. So right now I'm gonna put, I would say probably 1,000 points on him, just for now. Well, I gotta go at least 2,000. Because right now, if 2,000 will give us the lead. We don't even have the lead right now, so if we don't have the lead, we're not gonna probably sign him. So we'd have to go 2,000 on Victor Young to get him. At a minimum, because chances are Old Dominion might do more. So right now, that's that. So Brandon Butler, though, we have quite the battle with Iowa State. Now they have a new head coach coming in there, so he might not think the same about Brandon Butler. We don't know. But we have the lead, minus 125 though. So if we went, like say 750, that's a possibility and still be able to get him. Brandon Potts, we have a huge lead. So I don't think they're going to come and swoop him, but you never know. I think we scholarship offered everyone, yeah. So say I give him like 400. They would have to really like him. They'd have to put over 5,000 on him. And I don't see that happening. They haven't showed much interest all year. I don't think they've done much. We're the only one that offered him a scholarship. I think we're safe, but I want to put a little bit on. Now, Anthony Prince, this is going to be a battle here. This 2-star guard is getting a lot of thoughts and a lot of attention. So Georgia State and South Carolina is down there too. You never know. So to stay with him, we're minus 815. So to stay with him, we have to do at least 1,000. So we're going to try to see where the most we have to spend. So we get 1,000, that'd put us up about 400. Just to see where we're at. Now here, we're in the lead by minus 885, but I really want my son to come play for me. Really want him to come play for me. But we'll have to see. So right now, if I put 1,000 on him, see ASU though could go all in on him. So if I put like 1,200 on him, that would give us a 2,000 point lead. But are they going to put that much on him? They could. They very well could. So if I went, let's see if I went 23-20. Okay, so right now, let's say that. So East Carolina, we got the lead by a big margin over Mississippi State, but it's not to say that they didn't offer him a scholarship though. So I'm thinking we're probably safe there. But if we put another 400 on him, that gives us about 2,500 point lead, 2,700 point lead. And Mike Vaughn, we have a huge lead too, and I don't know if we didn't even offer him a scholarship. We've got to offer him a scholarship. I think we offered everyone else a scholarship. So we put him, and if we give him a nice, cool, I don't know, $725 maybe. So right now, that's where that's looking at. So all these guys. So Victor Young is going to be a tough one to get unless we put more points on him. We have to hope that like the Louisville team doesn't sneak in and just put 10,000 points on him. So say we went 3,000 on him. That gave us 86.45 still to play with. Brandon Butler, yeah, see, they got scholarship too, so I don't feel comfortable unless if we go 1,000 on him. Or let's say 1,000, 10, 20. So we still have 1,085 left. Now Brandon Potts, I think we're good with, so I don't need as much with him. Now Anthony Prince, that's going to be a tough one. We might lose Anthony Prince, but we can add a little bit. I can't add too much because I got. This is the one I'm also worried about. So if I up him to 3,000, those are the ones I'm worried about. I just worry that someone's going to come in and steal him from me, like ASU. Because they offered him a scholarship, so they're interested in him. But they also did decrease minus 280 last time, so they may have taken some points off him. Michael Freeman, I think we're going to be okay. Mike Vaughn, I think we'll be okay. So those two, so this one I can probably drop down to 400 and be okay. I don't think they're going to go crazy over this guy. Actually, let's drop him down to 360. We'll drop him down to 360. We'll drop him down to 360. So we got a little more points here to fuck with. Brandon Butler, I have a feeling we're losing him. I don't want to lose him, but I have a feeling we're losing him. Do we sign any other tight ends? Yeah, we have DeMarcus Cannon, but he was a bust. But if we, so we can up his maybe to 1,400? 1,320. So Victor Young, I just have a feeling we're losing him. He's been locked us out a couple times. Try to get him. I don't want to lose him, but I also don't want to lose my son. So this is the battle I'm caring most about here. Okay, so right now this is where it looks at what I'm looking for here. It's like, okay, so Victor Young, we got 3230 on him plus a 315 bonus, so that's 3,600 we're adding to it. So we're doubling our lead, but is Old Dominion going to go after him hard? Chances are they are. He went up plus 620 the last week. We went down 100. So we'd have to have a hell of a chance to take that over. But I'm thinking that they're going to go pretty hard on him. Brandon Butler. See, free safety, we kind of don't need that much. I don't want to lose some of these other guys. So maybe we'll go a little off of this. Take our chance with just doubling it up. So we'll go to like 29.35. It's fine. And we'll put some of that into here, Brandon Butler. See if we can't win that one. Brandon Potts, like I said, I think we're good there. I don't think they're coming stealing a third round, a three-star guy they didn't even offer a scholarship to. Anthony Prince, this one could be one we lose to. Steve Falk, though, I don't want to lose him. Don't want to lose my son. Okay, Michael Freeman, I think we'll be fine with. Vaughn, I think we'll be fine with. So maybe just take some of these points off. I don't want to say they're in the bag, but I feel like they lost. Yeah, they all lost 7-15. Looks like they're not even. They weren't even putting points on them. Unless they thought they were just going to swoop in at the end and do it. I don't know, but let's go down to 200 on each of them. We'll give them some. We get a bonus, so it's about that. And then we can put more on him. We'll set him up at 3,500. If we can't get him for 3,500, Anthony Prince is going to be tough. I just don't see us. These teams love him. If he wants to come, he's going to come. We'll just set it up 995. We'll still give him over 1,000 points. Brandon Potts, I think we're okay with. Let's just go down to 2. Actually, we can drop down even lower. Let's go to 165. So Brandon Butler, I want to put points on him for sure. Okay. See what guys we can get here. Now we won't be able to scout these guys until if they sign next. But I think when the recruiting or the position battles and stuff like that change, they tell us what happens with them when they're on our team. All right, and we'll up him up and that's where we're going to go. Okay, so we're going to go Victor Young, 29.55. Almost double what we have into there, and hopefully Old Dominion just thinks they have him and doesn't do anything. Brandon Butler, we're going to keep trying to add to that lead. Hopefully Iowa State's new coach doesn't want him, and Ohio doesn't swoop in. Brandon Potts, just a little bit. This one, so I think we're going to lose Victor Young and Anthony Prince. I think we're going to steal Brandon Butler. I think we got Brandon Potts. I think we got Steve Falk the fourth. I think we got Michael Freeman. And I think we got Mike Vaughn. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this works. This is the tough part, though. Let's see our pipeline states. Just look at this state view real quick. I'd like to branch out and get these guys. Hopefully we can get them. If not, we're going to have some walk-ons to deal with. But we do have some transfers coming in. So we have a middle linebacker transfer and a wide receiver transfer. So even if Steve Falk the fourth doesn't sign, it's going to be a tough night at the Thanksgiving dinner table and Christmas. Okay. So get out of here. We're going to advance to the next stage. See what we got. All right, guys, we need this to happen. Let's go. Come on. Not taking a look at anything. I'm gonna turn my head and I'm gonna hope that we get what we needed to get. We got the guys that we wanted to get. Please, I'm not even gonna look until I'm not looking at the yellow. Come on, news. Come on, let us get the guys we wanted. I have a feeling Arizona State came in hard on my son. Nope. Yep, we lost Victor. Knew it. Wow, Michael Freeman. They came in hard on him and signed him. Unreal. So we only got 3 out of 6, but we got our tight end. We got our son. Victor, we lost. I had a feeling we were going to lose him. Michael Freeman, I did not think we were going to lose him. I barely put any money on him. Florida came and swooped him. And then Anthony Prince, I had a feeling he was going to not be there. So, all right, so we got 3 out of the 6 guys we were targeting. And we got to cut some guys, so we're going to have some walk-ons for sure. Got a couple 3-star prospects and a couple other prospects. Okay. So it wasn't horrible. Let's look at our first class. Let's see where we end up in our recruiting class. I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be a... Oh, I don't know. Let's check it out. Feeling like probably 100th class, maybe around there. I don't know. Maybe 85th class. All right, so we'll take a look at our board first. Get these guys. So Mike Vaughn never ended up signing with anyone. Maybe he thought differently and doesn't want to play. So Victor Young, we lost the Old Dominion. We'll update that. The recruiting tracker here. Okay. So Victor wants to play there, that's fine. Brandon Potts, though, he wanted to play with us. Brandon Butler also wanted to play with us. And my son came home. Thank you. Thank you for coming here. Michael Freeman got swooped. He signed with Florida. Bunch of bull crap. But whatever. And Mike Vaughn, he never signed. Anthony Prince, we lost to Wake Forest. That's our second guy we lost to Wake Forest. Derek Goodman, wide receiver, who I really wanted earlier in the year. He signed with them. So Mike Vaughn is the only one that didn't sign. So that was a tough... can't believe he didn't sign with us. Why wouldn't he want him to sign with us? I don't know. Okay. So... that's how that ended. We'll take a look at our top classes. See who finished with the #1 overall recruiting class. We finished 93rd. I guessed 100. That's pretty close. Not horrible for the first year, but we missed out on some guys that would have been nice to have. That's okay. We're working to get where we need to get. So we had 1 4-star signee, it's a middle linebacker, 6 3-stars, 6 2-stars, and then 4 1-stars. So we had 17 total that we signed. Wonder if I can view signings. Yeah, let's view our signings because I'm sure we have some walk-ons that I didn't sign. So there's our top guy. Then we had Jared Nelson, Brandon Potts, Brandon Butler, Dan Moss, Steve Falk IV, Sean Burnett, A. Perry, halfback, walked on, 2-star. So I did not recruit him. And a quarterback walked on. So we got 2 walk-ons, halfback, quarterback, and a tight end walked on. Zach Hill, Lamar Swain, A. Brown, I think is my guy. He could be a walk-on too. No, he's a walk-on too. Daniels, free safety. He was a walk-on. And we have 2 cornerback walk-ons. Interesting. A lot of guys want to come play for us. We'll see how many guys actually stay, but we'll see. Okay. Let's see who had the top class. Alabama, of course. National champs, Alabama. Just retooling there. Auburn, the second class. Notre Dame, third. Oklahoma, no real surprises. Vanderbilt, the top 10 recruiting class. That's an interesting surprise there. Wonder who they got. Probably the best halfback. A couple good tackles. Interesting. Well, we'll see. Okay, so 93rd class. Got about 5 walk-ons that decided to join. And we'll see what we got going here. Okay, advance to the next stage. Position changes. Let's see if any guys are going to be changing position. We didn't really see anyone there, but we'll take a look at it. See if anyone wants to change up. You never know. Never know. All right, Let's head into position changes. Let's see what we got here. All right, so let's start off. Let's go to quarterback. Now, Alex Thorne, he walked on 63 plus 2. So this is where we can get also the information regarding whether or not guys are going to be busts or not. So no changes there. Halfback, Penix, he'll be coming on, but we're going to try to get him redshirted. Trace Christian, Tay Williams, Demetrius Monty, Alex Perry, Austin Perry. He was a walk-on. Fullback, we have none. Wide receiver, Jordan Bonner, he has to sit out of here. Henry Steve Falk the fourth. Wow, a gem. How do you like that? My son is a gem. 66 plus 6. So, turns out to be a gem, which is huge. So that's big for us. So he could play as a true freshman. Now we have more decisions to make, but I don't think any of these guys are going to be changing positions. I like them all. Wide receivers, we need a lot of wide receivers in this offense. Tight ends, Zach Bird, Brandon Butler was a bust. That's good to hear. We always have busts on this team for some reason. 62 minus 5 equals 67 minus 5. Okay. Okay. So Brandon Butler was a bust. That's okay. We'll see what actually happens. Sam Williams and DeMarcus Cam we already know about. So Sam Williams a walk-on. 57 overall. Not going to change any positions there. Left tackle. Same guys. Left guard. Center. We need those guys. Right guard. Andre Brown was a walk-on. Right now we're not changing positions. Right tackle though. Brandon Potts. Bust. You know, this is unreal. I mean, I can't get any luck with any of these guys. We have 4 busts. I don't even just take a nothing. It's just annoying when every guy we recruit is a bust. I guess that's all that wants to play for us. But so 6'7", we can't move him. We can maybe move him to a left tackle. Alright, so we'll move him to left tackle, get a little bit more. So we'll have 3 left tackles, 3 right tackles. A little more disparity there. Okay, so Bailey Malovich, he's not going to be able to play, so he's gone. So left end, Chance Emmanuel, Trey Love, Michael Swift. Trey Love could possibly go to a linebacker position if we needed him. Jared Nelson, yeah, we already know he's a bust, of course. Let's see, I don't know, right end. So we have defensive tackle, we're a little thin at though. So we got any heavier ends here? We could put a defensive tackle. Michael Swift. He can move to defensive tackle. Probably get a little more playing time. 286. Let's move him to D tackle. Overall 68 too. So move him to defensive tackle. D tackle. We got those guys going there. Okay. So that I'm good with, because Michael's going to work himself on the field there. Now linebacker. Pretty good at outside linebacker. Zach Hill, freshman coming in. George Stringer. Middle linebacker. Jake Venable's a transfer, but he won't be playing right now. Anthony Stanford. Chad Stevens. I don't know what I have at the other linebacker position. So right now, I'm not really thinking about changing any of these guys unless I needed a strong safety. Which, let's see if I do. Not really. Dan Moss, +6. Finally, one of my guys are a little better. So 63 +6. So not a butt, not a gem, but pretty damn close to a gem. So we'll take that. Plus we got that. So I don't think we need to change anything there. Free safety. Got 4 guys there. So Mike Daniels wasn't one of my guys, no. So I think we're good. Cornerback wise, Lamar Swain. Projecting him to be the starter, but we'll see what happens. We got some other guys here that I'm not really worried about. I didn't sign him, so Malik Daniels, I didn't sign you either. I think those guys are basically going to stay. We do have Patrick Nations coming on, but he will sit behind Jake, I'm sure. Need a punter this year, an athlete, none. Okay. Okay. Advance to the next stage. Let's see what we got next. Training results. This is a fun time, but like I said, these training results might not hold true based on what I do with my manual regression, but I got to do that a little later. I'm not going to do it during this video. This video, we're just going to take a look at everything that happened, and then we're going to see where they actually should end up based on our manual regression or progression results from the Excel book created by Hillison. So let's start off, go to quarterback. Holton Ahlers went up +6 to a 92. We'll see if that's accurate. So right now, that's where they're at. Halfback. Some stuff there. Like I said, I don't want to go too crazy because I don't want to say that this is how they're going to end up, because they're not necessarily going to end up this way. But we'll take a look at them, see if anything stands out to us. We had a couple battles, it looks like, depending on what actually happens. And then what I do with the manual regression is I just determine what the overall should have been for the guys, whether they went up or down based on their work ethic rating, and then I just change some of the attributes based on such. So those transfers actually get to get some off-season work in, so that's nice. Off-season training, get in the weight room, work with the team, learn the playbook, even though they're not going to be playing right away. And we'll see what happens there. Kicker, Jake Verdi, 93 overall. It'd be nice if he makes some more kicks this year, because like 60-some% is a little rough. We'll advance to the next stage. Guys, go to cut players. I don't know if we have to cut any, but if we do, cutting some of the walk-ons that came on that I didn't bring on myself. We'll see though, because I think they signed 17. We lost 12, so I might have to cut 5 guys. If I do, I definitely have to cut a couple of those guys that got dismissed from the team for sure. Yeah, we got to cut 7 guys, which is perfect. I think it's going to work out perfectly for us, actually. So we know Bailey Malovich is getting cut, because we have to. So right now, Malovich has got to go. He got dismissed from the team. So he's gone. Then Delvonte Harris, linebacker, he has to go too. Because he got cut. Okay, so we gotta get rid of 5 guys, and I think we had 5 walk-ons. So Thorne was a walk-on. I did not recruit him. Goodbye. Halfback. Perry, walk-on. Did not recruit you. Goodbye. Fullback. I have to keep him because I don't have a fullback, so I'm sure he walked on. Wide receiver, any guys here? I didn't. No. Tight end. I did not sign him, so goodbye. Left tackle, those guys I got. Left guard I got. Center is good. Right guard, Andre Brown, I did not. Yes. Right tackle. Left end. Those guys I all brought in. Right end. Brought all those guys. Empty tackle, we're good. Left outside linebacker, we're good. Middle linebacker, good. Outside linebacker there, we're good. Cornerback, these guys I did not sign. Jay Wright, goodbye. 69. Blake Daniels, I didn't sign either. Get rid of them. We're not signing guys that we did not. We're not keeping them. I don't care. Even if it puts us below. Okay. Besides a fullback, because they're just not going to let us cut a fullback. So we're going to keep that. And that's going to be what we had to do. So we got rid of all the guys that were walk-ons that I didn't need, that I did not sign. And we also, besides the fullback, which he's just going to not play anyways because we don't play with fullback. And I also cut Bailey Malovich, who was dismissed from the program, and Delvonte Harris, who was dismissed from the program. So advance to the next stage. Let's go to custom conferences. There's not going to be any changes here, so we'll be able to go right past this one also. Evaluate the players, bada bada bing, bada bada boom. And we're not going to go into, once we get to the preseason, we're not going to do any of that kind of stuff yet until the next episode. This is just clearly the off season. That's it. We're going to get through the off season, go to that, and then we'll see what we can get going. I'm hoping I can adjust. Reset your coach's skills trees. We're going to do that because we want the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators not to have anything assigned, because that just creates advantages on the field, and I don't want those advantages. So we'll go to coach skill trees. We're going to clear out OC and DC. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Mine didn't change. I'd like to keep those changes. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. So I'm about halfway to another upgrade. That will help us with the lockout thing again. So custom conferences, I don't think we're changing anything here. No one really changed. There were no talk really in the NCAA about anything changing, so I don't think anything's going to go no change there. As far as BCS bowl tie-ins, that is not changing either. So we're just going to advance to the next stage. What's going to be the preseason. So we get to go to the preseason. It's going to be huge. We have to assign our schedule and stuff, but that's going to happen next round. And we're going to do that at that time. So overall, the offseason went pretty well. We got some of the recruits that we wanted. We're going to track the ones that we didn't get and see how they do at those teams. Maybe we'll actually even play them sometime going forward. And then we'll do all the rest of this stuff setting up the preseason. So we're going to say goodbye to this offseason. Start ready for the 2014 season. We'll set our schedule. We'll do our depth chart, redshirt players, see what's going down, and we'll also edit our roster based on what actually happened on our manual regression system. So thanks for watching this. We're going to see you next time. We'll do the preseason of 2014, and we'll get ready for that season and see what we can do. We'll see you next time, next episode, preseason. Say goodbye to year one off season. Thanks for watching.